How are y'all doing? I know y'all can get louder than that. Okay, this section won. If we were giving out prizes, they'd be the ones winning right now. All right, so I was already here during the first session, and now I am back again. So I am going to perform a second spoken word piece for you guys, but before I do that, I'm going to share my testimony. Y'all want to hear it? All right. So it all started when I came out of the womb. I'm just kidding. Okay. So I'm going to literally break my entire childhood down into the couple words, innocent and fun and happy. I was a really innocent, happy kid, okay? From kid all the way until high school. Like, I didn't really have what you would say problems. I never was abused, neither mentally, sexually, emotionally. I had cousins around me all the time. Everything was always fun, family functions. So my life seemed pretty good, okay? I played softball since I was like 5, all the way until I was in high school. I even played when I was in college. But let's rewind back to high school a little bit. So in high school, like I said, my life was great. But even though it was good, it wasn't God. But at that time, I didn't know that because I could care less about God at that time. So I didn't grow up religious or introduced to stuff like that at all. So in high school, I experienced a lot of different things that I'm sure you guys can relate to. So with a show of hands, who has experienced or is experiencing insecurities? Okay. Dating issues, relationships. Nobody? Okay. I know I had issues. Okay. So I was experiencing a lot of insecurities. I'm going to just share some with you because I'm not insecure about these things anymore. I felt like my forehead was so big. People used to say that I looked like Rihanna. And I was like, it's just the forehead. Like, I don't think I really look like her. And I had issues with anorexia, bulimia. I would take laxatives. I would be throwing up. Like, I thought I was just like the fattest thing walking back in high school. And I was always comparing myself to other women all the time. I was like, oh, look at her eyebrows. Look at her makeup. Look at her outfit. She's prettier than me. Oh, the guy I like is talking to her. It was just constant insecurities. And it was honestly just eating me alive in the inside. But on the outside, it looked like, oh, that's Juuna'e, just the, innocent kid that has no issues, the athlete. So it was my senior year of high school, right? By the way, shouting out, how old do y'all think I am? Okay. I am 26. Okay, I know I look like I'm 12, but I'm 26. So when I was a senior in high school, this was 2010, I met this guy, and he was bomb, okay? I don't know if y'all say that still. He was like bomb.com. Okay. Yeah, bomb.com? Okay, that works? Okay. He was bomb.com, right? And I was out of control at that time. I was partying. I was going to clubs and stuff when I shouldn't have been there. Always intoxicated, doing things that I shouldn't be doing. And I meet this guy, and guess what? He was a Christian. And that used to get on my nerve because he always wanted to go to a Bible study on Friday night, and I wanted to go turn up, right? So him and his friends were always going to the Bible for their issues and always like talking about God all the time, and I would just be like, can y'all stop? Like, why are you guys talking about God so much? Like, this has nothing to do with God. Like, what are you guys talking about? But I liked him. He was cute. So I was like, let me try to, impress him a little bit. Let me try to open up this Bible, right? So the only book I can understand was Proverbs. So I opened up that book, and I started to try to memorize things so that when I got around him and his friends, I could quote something. So I did that. And I would be feeling myself because I'm just like, oh, I quoted something in Proverbs 8, And anyways, the more that I was faking it and fake reading to impress him, that's when God started to captivate me. I was reading, and next thing I know, I was like, this kind of makes some sense. Like, all of a sudden I found myself reading because I actually wanted to, and things were making sense, and I started to think. My mind was being open, and little did I know at that time, he was opening my eyes, and I had no idea, right? So, 2010, that was my senior year. And then I also went off to college. I went to Oklahoma, and my eyes were already opened at this point. So that's when I just started, I have questions now. I want to know more about if this God is real. And then, mind you, neither of my parents are Christians at all. So from day one, I don't know if you guys know what an agnostic is. Raise your hands. No? Okay. I'm not going to go into that definition right now, but basically someone who doesn't believe in God, they say, well, we don't know if he's real or not. But they have their reasons. And so my dad was coming at me left and right with the Bible's not reliable. Why does God allow suffering? The resurrection never happened. Do you even know who wrote the Bible? I mean, he's coming at me, and I'm like, I don't know how to answer these questions. I have no idea. So it's funny because that led me down a road of searching even more. And at first, at the time, I saw it as dang, why is my dad always on my head with this stuff? Let me just have my faith and be. But God was using him to push me into actually having an evidence-based faith. And I didn't even know that at the time. So I started digging and seeking even harder. And so what happened was, all through college, I started taking different classes. I started just really digging. And my faith was growing and growing and growing. I got deep into apologetics. I ended up getting my degree in psychology. And then after that, I went and got my master's degree in marriage and family therapy at Azusa Pacific. Who's heard of Azusa Pacific? APU? Okay. So to wrap my testimony up in a nutshell, that's the process that God took me on in order to introduce himself to me. So he used that bomb guy from back in 2010 to give me the introduction. And then it's he used my dad to push me into studying to learn more about who he is. And then, of course, God himself, his spirit, is what kept me still to this day. And he's just been maturing me and maturing me and maturing me ever since. And so that's why I do what I do today. And to transition into my poem, I'm going to perform a poem called Carelessness, okay? This poem means so much to me, and I really, really hope that you pay attention to the content, because in Christianity, you have to have a careless mentality. And what I mean by that is not careless like the ignorant type of careless. I'm not going to care about people. I don't care what nobody thinks. Not that type of careless attitude. You have to be careless when it comes to how people try to tell you how to live your life once you've already decided that you're going to follow God. Because if you listen to what they say, I don't care if it's your mom, if it's your dad, if it could be anybody, a teacher. If you choose that you're going to follow God and you want to live your life a certain way, and you are going to believe the promises and the truth that God has said about you, you have to have a careless mentality towards everybody else. And I'm going to give one example of that, and then I'm going to get into the poem. My insecurities. I was so insecure to where I was making myself throw up. I was making myself not eat, exercising all day, right? But then here comes God telling me, defining what true beauty was for me, defining what the purpose of life was, growing me in my maturity of thinking there's people out here dying from cancer, people out here getting molested, people out here getting raped, people out here starving, and I'm over here worried about if my eyebrows are on fleek like her eyebrows. Like, it just wasn't making sense to me. It's like my priorities changed. And so it got to a point where, and how I live my life now is, I don't care, like, if your outfit is better than mine. Like, I don't care if your eyebrows look better than mine. It's like, I don't care about those little things because I'm like, I'm living for something bigger. I'm more so concerned about what's my character looking like. Like, I get frustrated, not when the girl messes up on my eyebrows, even though that's a little frustrating, but you scale it. I get more frustrated when I'm like, man, like I really had an opportunity to be in an argument and keep the peace and show love, but I couldn't help it, and I low-key said something that was low-key disrespectful. I'm like devastated because that's a character thing. And so my point is that when you're out here living this life for God, you have to be so careless when it comes to the things that other people want you to worry about. Y'all heard the about? My voice cracked. But you have to be careless about how other people think of you and what they want you to be concerned with, and you have to just look at God and what he wants you to be concerned with, and you have to literally tune those people out. And so that takes being bold and firm in who you are and believing the truth that God has said about you. And so I'm going to get into this poem, and we're going to call it a day.